2, 1, go!
Hello Nidorinas and Nidorinos, it is KingNido here, and the Dooford Combats are hosting the Olivine Ore, and they are only one of 3 types with a type advantage over the Ore, as a Scavalier and Klinklang in their shiny forms as the Olivine Ore are come out for the Steel types. Mayan Shao and Machamp coming out for the fighting types. Mayan Shao immediately goes for the Boom Burst, which hits everybody on the field, and it looks like it does the most damage to Machamp. That's a terrible start as Klinklang. It goes with a super effective play rough, and Machamp is eliminated from this matchup instantly. That is terrible by Mayan Shao, as the stored power from a Scavalier goes for Mayan Shao. Doesn't do a great deal of damage, even though it was super effective, but I cannot believe Machamp already taken out of this matchup, and Mayan Shao going with the Seed Bomb as Surf Edge comes onto the field. That is not very effective on Klinklang. The fighting types need to take advantage of their type. This is a terrible start for them. That Dragon Darts hits both fighting type Pokemon, and Surf Edge goes with the Charm. Again, not capitalizing on that type advantage over the Steel. But Escavalier does have its attack stat harshly lowered, and a Side Strike from Escavalier onto Surf Edge, super effective, but Surf Edge holds on as Mayan Shao becomes cloaked in the harsh light, and there goes those wings up into the sky. Klinklang now going with the Defog. This is going to lower the evasiveness there of Mayan Shao. Mayan Shao needs to do something big in this matchup, as the bind is avoided by Escavalier from Surf Edge, and Escavalier goes with the Pound, and Surf Edge still hanging on, and there comes that Sky attack from Mayan Shao onto Klinklang. Klinklang, though, not very effective, but does flinch, which allows Surf Edge to go with the Clanging Scales. Hits both Escavalier and Klinklang. The fighting types are chipping away at the Olivine Ore here as best as they can, and Surf Edge does have its defense lowered. And Escavalier now going with the Fiery Dance onto Mayan Shao. It surely would have finished off Surf Edge, but Mayan Shao is an easy target here as Mayan Shao goes for the Dazzling Gleam. Hits both Klinklang and Escavalier, but not very effective on either Pokemon. They're not going for the super effective attacks, and there's the bite. Mayan Shao still hanging on from that not very effective move, but you have to think if either fighting Pokemon takes any damage, they'll be eliminated, as Escavalier's attack and special attack are lowered from that Noble Roar. And here comes a Leaf Blade onto Surf Edge. Surf Edge is taken down by a Escavalier. That is terrible. And now we've Conqueror coming out, and Mayan Shao immediately goes for the Amnesia, so it is going to try to boost its special defense here, but I don't think it'll do much. It's an easy target, and here comes the Muddy Water. This is going to hit both Conqueror and Mayan Shao, and Mayan Shao is eliminated from this matchup. That's the third one taken down for the fighting types. Conqueror fails with the Spit Up, and Escavalier goes with the Blaze Kick, which isn't going to do a great deal of damage, but Komaro is going to come out to the field to try and set things straight, and immediately avoids a Crab Hammer as it starts to absorb power for a Geomancy. It's not going to go for the physical moves, but it's looking to heavily boost its stats here, and Conqueror goes to Power Split. And it shares its power with a Escavalier, who goes with the Psycho Cut onto Conqueror. Super effective, but Conqueror takes that hit really well, and Klinklang going with the Lunar Dance, unnecessarily taking itself out of this matchup, even though it didn't have a great deal of strength left. The Steel type Pokemon were going so well here, and Komaro is allowed to finish off that Geomancy. The Dragon fighting Pseudo Legendary needs to do big for its team here, as it has its special attack and special defense, as well as its speed highly risen. And Conqueror goes for the Iron Defense here, so it's going to boost its defenses against the Steel types, highly raising those defenses, and immediately Dragon Darts. So from Escavalier, he's going to hit both Conqueror and Komaro, being much more effective on Komaro, super effective on the Dragon type. And speaking of Dragon types, Duraludon has come out to join Escavalier. So we have 2 Dragon type Pokemon on the field at the moment, and a Speed Swap, a terrible move by Komaro, giving its speed to Escavalier, who immediately performs Haze. Escavalier is one of the slowest Pokemon in the PokeType League, and Duraludon goes with a Focus Blast onto Conqueror, and a massive hit, and Conqueror is now eliminated. There are only 2 Pokemon remaining for the Dooford Combats. What are they doing? But it is Lucario who comes out and immediately goes with the Simple Beam onto Escavalier, who's still in this matchup. What are the Dooford Combats doing? They need to capitalize on their fighting type. Forest Curse, though, from Komaro adds the Grass type, and Duraludon gets added to Komaro, by his Escavalier, and that Twister super effective on Komaro, not very effective on Lucario. Komaro responds with a Dark Pulse onto Escavalier. mediocre damage for what that pseudo legendary should be doing. I'm very disappointed in the side so far, but that lovely kiss will put a Scavalier to sleep. Now what the Doofus Combats need to do is they need to focus their energy onto Duraludon, who goes for the Brine onto Lucario. A very good hit on the Steel Fighting type. Lucario could have been drafted to the Olivine Ore as Como goes the Electro Ball onto Duraludon, who takes its first damage of this matchup. Not very effective though. Lucario follows it up with a Discharge, which hits everyone on the field, including Como, its own teammate, and paralyzes it. What is going on here? Not very effective on Duraludon, but also paralyzes it. We have status conditions aplenty at the moment as the Scavalier is still asleep. Duraludon going with the Ingrain, so it is going to restore its health multiple times in this matchup, and Como now going with the Air Cutter, hits both a Scavalier and Duraludon, and a Scavalier is taken out of this matchup. This is what the Doofus Combats need to do. They have 4 Pokemon still to contend with. They can get these eliminations, and they need to do it fast. And it's Excadrill now that comes out. An easy target for the fighting types, but goes for the Poison Sting from Lucario, which doesn't affect the steel types. And in response, a Hammer Arm onto Como from Excadrill. It does lower Excadrill's speed, but almost eliminates the pseudo legendary. Conversion now from Duraludon is going to change its type to normal, making it an easier target. That core change fails from Como, and there is that Ingrain helping Duraludon restore some health. The Misty Terrain now being set up by Lucario. This really doesn't benefit this side. They are vulnerable to fairy type attacks, as we saw hit hard on Marchamp earlier in this matchup. That Mist does swirl around the field as Excadrill with the Icicle Crash is going to go for the Dragon type. It doesn't, instead going for Lucario, still doing a great deal of damage considering it wasn't very effective. Duraludon going with the Petal Dance onto Como. Como is eliminated with that not very effective move. Lucario is all by itself. It needs to hit some Aura Spheres fast, and there's that Ingrain continuing to benefit the Olivine Ore. Lucario immediately goes with the Present to the Steel Dragon type. A very good hit, actually. And Excadrill going with the Petal Dance onto Lucario. Lucario is hanging on there after that not very effective move. And Duraludon is poisoned, paralyzed. So this is massive. Lucario needs to capitalize, even though that it now goes for the Iron Tail onto Excadrill, and it's not very effective. It does lower Excadrill's defense, however, but Excadrill continues with that Petal Dance and takes down Lucario. The Olivine Ore have dominated for this matchup all the way through from the very start. The Doofus Combats a terrible showing in their home city. That was so poor, and that's going to leave them clear on the bottom of the ladder, and the Olivine Ore all by themselves on top of this ladder. See if the Olivine Ore can continue this next round against the Goldenrod balance, whereas the Doofus Combats need to redeem themselves against the Bell and the Angels. They struggled against fairy type moves here today, and the Bell and the Angels in our next matchup will be facing the Jubilife Venom. The Venom will have a type advantage over the fairy types, but until then, Nidorinos, thank you so much for watching. Let us know in the comments below who you thought was the best on field today. And if you enjoyed what you saw, please leave a like, share, subscribe, but more importantly, always remember, you are awesome, and I'll see you when you see me.